Hey, I'm glad you joined our worship video. One of the cool things about religion is it's a space where you can ask the biggest questions. You can even wonder, what is reality itself? And you can have a sense of awe at creation. Religion allows all these questions and emotions and love. I'm glad you joined our video. Now we're going to begin with a really poignant song. Last week in one of our physical services, Emily Bass sang about how we can all be free. Listen.
Lay down your burdens, join with me, all you souls bound so tightly. Wheels are spinning, fires are burning, lessons changed, and old times turning. We can all be free. We can all be free. Call for winds of change to blow across the heavens and here below. Sing the eternal refrain. Lay down your burdens, join with me, all you souls bound so tightly. Wheels are spinning, times are turning, lessons gained, and old fires burning. We can all be free. We can all be free. Lift your voice and join the throng. Every heart calls forth in song, singing the eternal refrain. Lay down your burdens, join with me, all you souls bound so tightly. Wheels are spinning, time's turning, lessons gained, and all fires burning. We can all be free. We can all be free. We can all be free. We can all be free.
This morning, our scripture is one of my favorites from Isaiah 40. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youth grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Let us pray. Lord God Almighty, as you so well know, we have all stumbled. We have all grown weary in the strife of life, no matter our age or plight. At times, today can seem impossible, and tomorrow an eternity. In your presence, we are reminded we are not alone, and hope has not vanished, and strength can still be found to persevere. Thank you, Lord, for never giving up on us, never being farther than a prayer away. We trust in you, we wait on you, and we pause and give our burdens to you. Hear our hearts, know our needs. Help us to lean on you when life seems too much to bear. Lord, for those who fear, grant them courage. For those who grieve, comfort them. For those who are sick, we ask you to heal them. And for those who are lonely, please be with them. Let our hearts soar with courage like the wings of an eagle, just knowing that you are our God, you are our friend, and you are our Savior. In your name we pray. Amen.
Politicians pay a lot of attention to their polls. They pore over their polling numbers so that they can steer their candidacy or their campaign towards the issues that will win them votes. Did you notice that God's poll numbers are down? The big Gallup poll of last week shows that far less people believe in God now than they did before. Now, I doubt that God is pouring over the polls, but this is something. It's been a precipitous drop. You know, in the 1940s and 50s and 60s, about 98% of Americans would say they believed in God. It started to go down a little bit. By the time I came to First-Plymouth in 2005, it was at about 91% of people believed in God. But now over the last years, it's begun to drop pretty quickly. As I say that, I hope it wasn't because of my preaching here. No, I mean across all of America, it was at about 91%, and then it went to 87%, and then from 2017 on, it's now dropped another 6 points, so that now 81% of Americans believe in God. Now, that's a supermajority. It's still a lot, but it's also a lot less. And that type of rapid decline is stunning. I have to tell you, I had a wildly dichotomous reaction when that poll came out. It was like a dialectical fury I felt in me about, is this a horrible thing or is it a good thing actually? I had these crazy different reactions to it. Is it a tragedy that less people believe in God, or is there something actually good going on? Let me bring you into my chaos. My first reaction to that poll was my heart hurt. I felt heartsick that less people believe in God, because when I say that word G-O-D, I mean that I believe love is the essence of all things, that there is a God that loves you beyond your wildest imagination. And if there's less belief in God, I worry that people feel loved less or trust that love is the essential power less. And that makes me deeply sad. And when I say the word God, I mean at the same moment that there is a purpose, a direction to life. There's a purpose and meaning. And I wonder, if less people believe in God, does that mean more people think there's no meaning to life at all? And I worry that more and more people could fall into despair. In fact, it does seem like despair and depression is on the rise. I worry that there'd be a type of nihilism where people think there's no purpose to their life. And if there's no direction or purpose to our lives, what is it then? Just trying to seek pleasure or just try to avoid pain? Is that all it is? My first reaction to that poll was to be sad. But then almost immediately I had a different reaction. I thought, wait a minute, is there a little bit of kind of cool rebellion going on, that people are tired about all the BS in religion or all the silly things that religions can say about God at times? Maybe people are rejecting that. So this is sort of a power to the people. More and more people saying, I don't believe in that kind of God. I mean, maybe that's how they're answering the question. I don't believe in that God. I mean, for example, I don't believe in Zeus either. There's lots of types of gods I don't believe in. Maybe this poll shows more and more people don't think they believe in a God that would sanction violence, and yet so many religions through history and even now look like they sanctify violence at times. Or when religions say that it's God that thinks being gay is a sin or women shouldn't be priests, maybe they're rejecting all that BS about God that we've been taught. That would be cool. That would be awesome. Or religion sometimes presents a cartoon image of God, some silly, literalistic, ridiculous notion. Maybe it means, this poll, maybe it means more people are rejecting ridiculousness. So then I started to kind of feel good about this poll. But then I oscillated again to the opposite side and began to worry, because when you believe in God, then God is the ultimate. And that puts everything else in your life in perspective. Nothing else can be ultimate. As Paul Tillich, the great theologian, said, God is the ultimate concern. But if you don't believe in God, something else could become ultimate. You could give something else too much power. I worry about that. If less people believe in God, and God relativizes everything else, governments, institutions, philosophies, structures, anything, God is first. But if you don't believe in God, then what is first in your life? What has most authority over you? I would worry that people would give government too much authority or some ideology. God puts everything else in perspective. I began to worry, what are people holding as ultimate in their lives if it's not God? I went back and forth, and then all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, this whole thing is so trivial. This poll, do you realize how they do these polls? They call you on the phone. Do you know what it's like to get a phone call when you're home? And if you happen to pick up and it's a solicitor or a person polling you, I mean, the whole thing is such a weird vehicle for the ultimate question about the essence of reality. To call you on the phone, I mean, I would just first wonder, who's asking me and why do they want to know? I'm not sure how I'd even answer that, because it seems too trivial. To answer the greatest mystery there is, God. God is the inscrutable great mystery. And to sit there and answer over the phone? So it wouldn't bother me if some people just kind of reject how banal that whole method is. And do you know what? I reject the whole notion that there's a binary answer to a question like that. When you ask a human being about God, about their sense of reality, to have it just be a yes-no answer, that's ridiculous. I mean, every great Christian mystic through the ages has said anything that we say about God is guaranteed to be wrong. God is the infinite. God is infinite and beyond the grasp of finite minds. And so anything we say about God is wrong. And so that the true spiritual stance is to trust that there is God, but not think that you have hold of God. So just a simple, yes, I believe in God, that doesn't sound right. Or a simple no. This poll didn't even allow a type of faithful agnosticism where you're not sure, because how could one be sure about ultimate things? But that you are seeking, and oh my, that might be enough. Oh, in the end, after this poll, I just remembered, I don't think it's all about some definitive I believe or I don't believe. If you are open to the possibility, that could be enough. If you are beginning to see in Jesus Christ the type of love and peace that isn't just attractive to you, it looks like it's what life is all about. If you just begin to even move towards Jesus Christ, that can open you to the notion that there is God, that this life has meaning and purpose. It's full of meaning and purpose. Maybe that's enough. Maybe this whole poll is way too trivial. And so what I pray for you today is that your heart is open to the possibility of God.
Trees are made for climbing, days are made for sun, puddles are for jumping, fields are made to run, stars are made for counting and for wishes coming true. Sleep is made for dreaming, and I have dreams for you. May you never lose the wonder in your soul. May you always have a blanket for the cold. May the living light inside you be the compass as you go.
As we were filming this digital worship, I realized there's a piece of art in the shot right behind me, and there's an interesting story to it. As I was bringing up that work of art and to set it in my office, it broke when I set it down. That cross wasn't broken, but as the cross broke, it fell and was caught by the art piece itself. And then I realized that's like a whole new piece of art, and it seems to say something very evocative. To me, it seems to say there are some things that are broken with religion, with Christianity, but we can hold it together if we remember that love is what is most essential, and that caring for every human being and basic compassion is what is essential. So the religion, the cross itself, can be held by us tenderly. And so I pray for you this week. You walk gently through these days. Bring some compassion to someone. Bring some peace. Know there is God. Amen.